YouTube, welcome to the top 16 of the Meta Weekly every single week. Today is the day where maybe Orcust is going to be much more prevalently within the top 16 as we clap it up. Hopefully, we did see previously last week that Maliss was dominating because everyone took Lancia out of their deck. Now, from the early rounds, I believe I've been seeing a lot more Lancia today. So it's going to be a constant seesaw of no Lancia with Lancia. And of course, through all that, people are still going to be playing Duel and Lockbird. With Duel being prevalently played due to Mitsurugi, what's that meaning for Ryzeal? Do people want to play two engines in one that don't do well against Duel? Maybe that's the case. If I watch as long as you can, that greatly supports the event. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Let's go. Whoa! Mitsurugi with the YOLO of a lifetime. He almost discarded his Ash, Gold Sark, and GWC to the graveyard as he needed to draw into a Dark. Otherwise, he loses his entire hand. He did draw that one Dark. This close to scooping. We should have a Cryptor in circulation. Not sure what happened there, but we have an Omni Negate, Double Monster Negate, Imperm Negate a Monster. We could banish cards in the graveyard. We could banish a card in the field. We could Ash, we could Nibiru, and we have a Max C. Let's go. Imperm onto the Apollo. Well, I have a Lingaribo to negate, so we still have 8 disruption. Negate. All right. Engraver, attempting to search for nothing. Senjin will also get negated. Twice today, Apollo is the only card that was needed to end their turn. Nothing else mattered. Their core engine, their cool plays, their boss monster. Nope. One Apollo completely ends it. How awesome. Normal, the Crimson Tier. We have Imperm here. Ash and Impulse is also ready. Let's reborn back. Ooh, what a scoop. The hand trap resilience here, off the freaking charts. We played through 3 hand traps and just got started. Ash, Impulse, and Impermanence. 3 high quality hand traps we played through. Activate, backup Ignister. Mate, we're gonna Imperm, negate. No search for you. You search, you then discard. We could, if we wanted to, search for a Dormouse, then discard it, then banish it with the March Hare. Let's now make a Lingaribo, potentially protecting us from another use of an Impermanence. And now we're going to be chaining Max C to the Wizard. Wizard is going to be summoning both cards at the same time, so not 2 draws. Imperm pass. We have Imperm, Nibiru, double disruption. Let's go. Well, if the deck was immensely hand trap resilient in the previous duel, we should easily play through at least an Impermanence. Not so sure about Nibiru though. Let's see how well we do that. Now, ideally, a hand trap resilient deck or any deck has a Nibiru check where we want to force out Nibiru. We could do so with the Wave King Caesar. We could do so with an Apollo USA. We have multiple Nibiru checks within this deck. We actually don't have Wave King Caesar, so it would just be Apollo. Right before they could summon Apollo is when we'd have to Nibiru, but you always want to think about Nibiru paired up with another hand trap. Imperm plus Nibiru means Apollo no longer checks it. So we can just wait for an even better moment. Let's further go into the Nightmare Phoenix, which is also going to draw a card here and take out the Impermanence. So it would be beneficial to stop them from drawing a card. Just flip it up. Imperm, negate. And now we are back into having to be checked on potentially an Apollo. Right as soon as, right now they could link 3, which is not going to be an Apollo, obviously, but we still don't even want that. Let's Nibiru it up. They do have Triple Tactics talent. They haven't even used up their normal summon. So again, we played through 2 hand traps like nothing. Return back the hand and let's full combo them up. Summoning Nibiru in attack position against a deck that could take control of your Nibiru then attack you for game, that was a choice. Let's go into Galatea. Link 2. Return back the Harpoor. Set up the Orchestrated Babel. We're going to further go into the Dingirsu. We're going to be sending Nibiru, not attaching a banish, and then setting up to take control of the Nibiru. We're going to send the World's Wand. Galatea is going to be reborning itself back onto the field. World Wand is going to be banishing to summon the Girsu back onto the field. 5,200 damage here. As we now link this all up into the Enlil Girsu. So if we wanted to, we could have used Dingirsu to attach instead. We could have grabbed Orcust Nightmare, return it back in the deck, and then take control of Nibiru. What are forms of disruption? We can non-target take control of a monster. We're going to also be able to, we actually don't have any good, well, we could Galatea Link 1, then send the Orcust Nightmare, which could then send a symbol, which could then reborn the Dingirsu. We could non-target send and non-target take control. We have plays against an Ash. Take it. Your Ash is mine. Return back the wand. Yoink it. Change the battle position of the Ash. Got him. Woo! Orcust beating Maliss. And Maliss had 3 hand traps, they played right through it. They then had 2 disruption, they played right through it. Crazy hand trap resilience here, but again, not so much in the Max C and Full Loss category, but if they don't have that, then I guess easy win. Mitsurugi versus Maliss, begin. Full Loss it up. Got him. Well, we didn't actually have a play. Jessie by itself is not a 1-card play. Ooh, we got Ryzeal, Mitsurugi, Habakiri, some for the deck. Are we going to finger that Maxi Mate? Of course we will. Negate. Now, theoretically, the Call by the Grave should be quite good against Mitsurugi, right? They like going into the graveyard. Just finger them right then and there. In this scenario, the Saji could also just get fingered, or we could Ash it. Do we Ash it? Do we finger it? We're going to finger it instead. No Mitsurugi ritual for you. And because the Saji got fingered, dead, dead, dead. 3 dead cards in our hand. If the Ice Ryzeal gets ashed, we're in big trouble. Yep, big trouble we are indeed. Holy moly, triple brick in the hand. Now, Hakumo's hand is not better. We have to draw into something to make this a play. A Bestial can make this a play. Any Mouse can make this a play. A lot of cards will make this a play. That does not make it a play yet unless we draw into something good. And we did, in fact, draw into what was good as we now get to summon our Chessie onto the field. We should wham bam thank you ma'am him from here. Let's speed this up. Summon the backup, search, discard, draw as we add the March Hare. We are going to be drawing 2 here with the Chessie. Link Decoder, March Hare, banish the Chessie, further go into the Red Ransom. Red Ransom, Channeling Block with the Link Decoder. If you had Nash Blossom, you would not be able to negate our 1 of Mouse and Underground from our deck mate. Let's make our Apollo USA, banish from Engrave since we already have the mirror in hand. As the Dormouse comes from the deck through the banished Red Ransom, further banishing the White Rabbit. Rabbit set up GW. Further link this up into the Cryptor, and to battle we go. Cryptor is going to non-target banish the Ice Ryzeal. With the GWC banishing the Heart's Cryptor, it's going to come back and be able to attack again at an even higher attack. Now at 5,600 attack is exactly what it should be at for game. Well done. Let's hop into game 2. Just start the duel. How do I ban this guy for like 10 minutes? Someone do that. All right, 7th Tachyon. Grab an X Ryzeal, return back the Habakiri, special summon the X, do not activate Aggregator unless you have another face of cards to negate, and then Chainlink Block Mate. Sword Ryzeal, come forth. Of course, we have not committed to our normal summon yet. Now, we do have Impulse. Impulse cannot be used on X Ryzeal, cannot be used on Sword Ryzeal. It can be used on the Ice Ryzeal summoning from the deck if we want to, but when is the best time to use your Impulse? You want to Impulse Mitsurugi Ritual. That is your best use of Impulse. Now we're going to be drawn per special summon, come forth into the Star Ryzeal. Now, we have this idea that our Mitsurugi play is protected if we have Cross, but it's not because Impulse is not a monster effect to negate. Right now, 2,000 attack or higher is untargetable. Can't imperm this, but we can Ash it, but we can use Cross to negate. Now, you'd be thinking, well, how's it going to negate? It only has one material. We could detach the materials off of the Star Legion instead. Detach 2 off you. We still have the targeting protection. Search for 2 cards. And now we think we could safely use the ritual, but it will just get negated by impulse. Well, we could now return the impulse back in the deck. Oh, wait, there's 2. Uh-oh. Let's summon the Node Ryzeal. Does not impulse the ritual. What are we impulsing? What is your impulse for? What? Like next duel? Okay. We're just not impulsing. I guess we are totally cool at drawing cards, maybe. That's the thing. But if they were summoning, if they're activating to summon from the hand, well, this is from the deck, so we do get to draw. Maybe if it was summoning from the hand, that is when we would have impulsed it. And if Hakimo was thinking, from the hand, I'm ready to impulse, from the deck, I'm just going to get a free draw. Sure. Now, we could discard, we could wipe away their field, we could pop, 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 we could negate with the aggregator, we could negate with the cross. We only have 7 disruption. Versus an 8-card hand, by the way. 7 disrupt, 8-card hand, force them to discard for the activation of the Dormouse. We're now down to 6 disruption. We're going to prayers. This is where we are attempting to wipe away the field. And I think this is risky. We think that Murakumo is going to reborn through its own effects. But if it is, it's going to be chain link blocked by Asagi, thus you can't impulse it. So if you impulse the prayers, they will then definitively reborn outside the prayers. You're just in a bad, you're kind of checkmated here. You can't impulse this. Now, see, we were not able to impulse. There's 2 different ways. We'd either be summoning it through the prayers or chain link blocking the impulse of the Saji. MTP is not non-targeting banishing here, as we're going to be wiping the field. Now, after this field wipe, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 disruptions. All that was just the Murakumo. Okay. Negate the March Hare mate. Come back, Dormouse. At 4 disruption left. It's all tied to the detonator. If we can get rid of the detonator, then that would be the ideal way. We're going to detach the aggregator to then negate the backup. How does this work? Turn player, non-turn player, trigger priority, optional trigger versus mandatory trigger. We have an optional versus an optional. The turn player optional is the lower chain link. The non-turn player optional is the higher chain link. Aggregator on the higher will negate. Thus, you're not going to search mate. Doesn't even activate. Let's have 2 disruption left. Just 2. We're doing a decent job of playing through these disruption. What do you think? We're on 1 left, and we're still cooking. Let's go, Hakimo. Hakimo did have an 8-card hand versus 7 disruption, and we're down to just 1. 1 left as we banish to draw 2. As we're going to be adding the March Hare back. Holy moly. We're actually doing it, I think, maybe. Are we? Pop the Splash Mage. And now we're at nada. 0 disruption. Hakimo has already used up his normal summon. The Splash Mage will resolve, reborning back the Dormouse, as 7 is exactly what we needed to end their turn. The Murakumo is back up. The cross is not able to negate yet. We need another material. And what's annoying about the cross is many of you forget there's a downside with this. You cannot exceed summon monsters with the same name as a card you control, meaning we can't summon another detonator, we can't summon another duo drive unless we get rid of them. We're going to be grabbing a prayers. Let's go into a light dragon ignister, and we are out. Let's go. Max C in the draw. I don't think so. Ash, negate. And we do have our own Ash potentially on the allure. Would that be our best use here? Are we going to use it? Yes, we are. Negate. Now, we just have White Rabbit. If we don't have TB11, the play is not going to be as great, but by being able to set a MTP from the deck, that will be our play instead. So, if your question, how do we do a White Rabbit 1-card play? This will be the way. All right, there you go. And as we finally summon the Allied Code Talker Ignister, well done. It looking pretty much exactly the same. Nice play. Appa, where? Well, we were forced into an early Splash Mage, so no Apollo. Perelia. If you want to summon a March Hare from the hand or a Bestial, I'm going to draw off of it. Ice Ryzeal is not only getting negated, also getting banished. And if it's getting banished, how do you summon a Sword Ryzeal? We don't have a Ryzeal in the field or grave, so we are screwed. Can't normal the Sword Ryzeal since we already used up our normal. We're going to have to YOLO, draw 2. And if they're drawing 2, they are desperate. You, of course, go out of your way to negate. Negate! The Triple Tactics talent mate. Ending the turn, not surrendering. Interesting. There is a small chance the opponent can disconnect. Nope. Okay. 2-1 victory. Where's your Lancey at? Let's go. Crimson Tier. Send from the deck here. We have Nibiru and Impermanence. You always want to think of pairing up your hand traps together, especially Nibiru. Nibiru is the one hand trap that multiplies at least ×2 in power when paired up with a Veiler or an Impermanence. Even an Ash Blossom potentially could be a good pair up with Nibiru. If you're dealing with, let's say, an Apollo USA, you trick them to negate the Ash Blossom with their Apollo, then you chain Nibiru to wipe their fields. Now, we are going to be tributing off the field right here, right now. The Rextremde, if equipped, would have been unaffected by Nibiru. I guess we were afraid of that. When sent to the graveyard, we could return a Fiendsmith card that's banished or engraved back to our hand. Engraver, let's get searching for the Tract. Well, Tract is no good if you hit them with the Droll. You cannot add a Lurie from the deck. Let's reborn the Engraver back by returning back the Rextremde. With this field, we're going to sequence equipped onto the Engraver. Engraver will send the Nibiru to the graveyard as we're going to be further comboing into a Masquerena. Masquerena could link off with what? What can we get onto the field here? Well, we do have Lacrima, Crimson, Engrave, which could reborn the sequence to then, we can go into an Apollo. We could Little Knight, we could Apollo. We could just imperm them in the draw phase to completely play around that. We have to deal with the Droll, a Maxi, and Nibiru, as we're going to do the imperm right away. Let's engine. The Millennium Engine is back. Back against a Max freaking C. While this card gives you really good hand trap resilience, the category of Maxi and Full Loss resilience, it's not so good. Without even committing to a normal summon, this gives you 7750 damage on the field, plus you could get rid of a monster by pushing it into the back row. We're going to Requiem into the Crimson Tier. Are we pushing for game here? What are we doing? We are officially in Nibiru territory. We could wipe away the field whenever we want. We could wait for the Nibiru check. Have we checked on Nibiru yet? No Nibiru check in sight. Just wait. We're gonna Full Loss before they potentially use the extra deck. Full Loss again. Okay. Golem from the back row, 7750. Guess what's game? If we were to normal summon the Max C, but we already used up our normal summon. Wedju Temple. This is now game. Doom Dragon, 10,000 at the end of the main phase Nibiru. Gotcha. Into the surrender before the token even gets summoned. I think any meta where Nibiru is good is healthy for the meta. Nibiru has to be good for the meta to have a chance to be interactive enough. And this is our Mirror Force. This is our Torrential Tribute. We need more crazy cards that punish the opponent for overextending. It's not crazy to see Maxi punish overextending. It's not crazy to see Droll and Lockbird punish, but wipe the field. I love it. We need more cards like this. Wedju, Temple, let's get the Harp Horror into the back row. Senjin again. Well, we're going to have Call by the Grave. We're not going to be dealing with a Full Loss or Max freaking C. Finger the C. Not today. And Lil Gursu end the turn as we add back the Harp Horror. We have quite a lot of plays. Now, you could send World Wand from the deck with the Orcust Nightmare to boost up Apollo by an additional 800, giving her a 4th negate. So we'll pretend she has 4 negates. We could non-target take. We could imperm negates. Did we summon a Dingursu? I feel like that didn't happen in my brain. Yeah, where the heck's the Dingursu? So you have at least 6 forms of disruption. And we actually have 7 if we can get the World's Crown on field by getting the Wand and Grave, which we're doing right now to boost up the Apollo. All done. Only 7? Wait, you can get World Wand and Grave. What the heck? Where's the World Wand at? We could summon a Gursu, then send World Wand, then summon the World Crown. So we still have that. Now, we just lost our 4 negates out of our 7 disruption. We're now down to 3. Imperm, Crown, and Take. Yep, Crown will negate a monster, summon for the extra deck, activate on the field. Imperm negate a monster, and Lil Gursu would take control of the monster. Let's take control. Your Luri is mine. We returned the crown back. I don't understand what we're doing. Why not have the crown to summon? We could summon the crown as disruption with the wand. Get the wand engraved. You, in fact, should have added the wand to return it back to enable that play. What you can do, if you want, you could end Lil Gursu, add back the wand, return another card, and then you could link 1 Galatea, discard the wand to add the crown, and it will just trigger right there, summoning the crown right away. There's multiple different ways to get that crown out there. And the crown could just negate and destroy that play right there. Get rid of it. We do just have impermanence left. The imperm is now being targeted for banishment. Negates. At least attempt to do so, mate. We could chain the Little Knight to further banish itself plus another monster. We're not going to do that. We are pretty much done on disruptions. We can summon from the deck. We can symbol Reborn from the grave. It's not going to be turning into any form of disruption, though. Unless I'm missing something. What can we do with the Long Gursu? So I guess it's targeting the Little Knight. It's sure, return it back. That's kind of a disruption, I guess. Yeah, it's a decent one. Whether they had a monster in the extra zone there or there, the Long Gursu would be able to deal with it. Why is Galatea on the field? Oh much. It didn't even need to be there. Did it enable any play? Did it help us in any way besides setting up lethal damage to the opponent? No! Uh-oh. Yeah. Link 1 during the opponent's turn is good for, I would say, 2 reasons. Number 1, setting up a World Crown to be summoned. Number 2, enabling your counter trap to be activatable. And number 3, I'll say a third one. Number 3, another body to use with Masquerena. So if it's good for those 3 reasons, what did we have? We did not set up World's Crown with it. We did not use Masquerena with it. We didn't have the trap. I don't know what the 4th good reason is, but the 4th reason was whatever it was for that duel. I don't know. All's good though, Stardust. I want to see more Orcust from you, my friend. Come back again next week. Let's do it. I like the Millennium version. That's cool. Let's go. Begin. And now cross out in a mirror match is also going to get additional benefit, especially if it's tied to disruption. If we know this card is here, all we have to do is cross out, call Crescendo, and it's going to preemptively negate it. You cannot use it in response to it. It is a counter trip. It's spell speed 3, but for sure it was set, right? I wasn't really paying attention. Galatea, yeah, we know it's there. This will stop it. 3rd Gursu, mate, what the heck are you doing? Draw better. We have a lot of negate monster, negate monster, negate monster, negate anything, non-target take. We can negate an extra deck monster. We could send a card from the field to the graveyard. At least 7 disruption here, minimum. And he does exactly as we said he would. We have our Gursu. We did not, we're able to stop it. We're gonna, it's just not even bothering. Woo, what the? Symbol Reborn's an Orcust. We have no Orcust to Reborn. Well, if we could link 1, but they're going to take control of our monster that we were going to link 1 and then be able to discard. Big trouble. Big problem. Yep. All right. Let's keep on going. Is it enough to straight up win the mirror match when we have a bricked hand? Brick. Complete freaking brick. Oh my Jesus. Impulse. Called by Lancia and Ash. Quadra Disrupt. We have Mitsurugi. We're going to finger that Saji. Now, we have to remember, we just fingered ourselves. Our own Saji, if we top deck into Habakiri, we can't Habakiri into Saji now. And, you know, sometimes you do have to consider that if we wanted to Ash it instead. We have Mitsurugi Ritual, which I don't know what we're saving Impulse for. It's crazy. Like, you're going to use Ritual twice. They're going to get 3 bodies on the field. Like, +3 is not good enough to Impulse. I don't know what's good enough to Impulse then. I really don't know. How is this not the Impulse? It's insane. They wouldn't be able to add this back and then reactivate it. Holy moly. And they're going to search, like, let's count up all of the pluses we're getting here. Oh, we're just going to Ash it. But if we Impulse, it would have stopped both. So by Ashing it, we lose Ash, and they +2 bodies on the field, which the Impulse could have stopped it instead. We could also then used Ash on Requiem. So Impulse completely tanks the Ritual. Ash stopped the Requiem. And then when they start making Orcust plays, hit him with the Lancia. Boom. Good. Cinema, right? Impulse you. And bro hasn't even started with the Orcust plays yet. Now we're starting. We do have Lancia though. Get ready to Lancia it up. Discard, summon, link off, Galatea. Now we're gonna Lancia. No more banishing for the rest of this turn. Add the World Legacy Crown. Let's further link this up into Galatea. As I said earlier, Galatea is still able to make its plays, can still set the counter trap, but it requires targeting a banished machine. We don't have a banished machine and no way to banish one because of Lancia. 6,600 damage. What are our forms of disrupt here? Dingursu is going to attach nothing as we go into the Mask Arena. So the World Crown could negate a monster from the extra deck, activate on the field. The Droll could disallow them from further adding. The Mask Arena could link off into a Little Knight, banish into another banish. About 4 forms of disruption. In Grave, we have no disruption. Remember what I said? We fingered ourselves. Yup. We got fingered. And that's what happens. Our own Saji was fingered by us on the previous turn. On the top of the freaking deck even. Holy moly. That's crazy. That was unlucky, huh? I'm sorry that happened. All right, let's keep on going. Renove, please come back with more Orcust. I love it. I appreciate you for doing well in today's event. Let's keep on going. Negate Red Ransom into a scoop is what I'm suspecting this entire duel will be. And they could think, well, if it's that good, why are more people not playing it? Well, there's this 50% chance that it's dead because you're going second. Impulse, negate the Rising Scale effect to summon, which would then activate to summon another monster from the deck. Even with this crappy field to no fault of Rain, but what's the Virtue Stream doing? Target a fish, sea serpent, or aqua you control. What the? Okay, I was gonna say trash. Solemn Judgment, tank the Red Ransom, and we win. Let's go. Underground, banish. Why are we playing the Virtue Stream? We have a link, rank 3, right? We got La Virtue Dragon. All right, maybe it's not trash. It's actually a good idea. Cool. Get ready for the Ransom. Ransom. Get ready with the Link Decoder. Sure, okay. Bro has no idea about a Solemn Judgment. He's gonna... Oh, you could even negate this potentially. Negate this, it can't come back. It's gone from the duel. And guess what? You're not only stopping the Cryptor and it's now not rebornable. How does Link Decoder come back? This comes back if sent to the graveyard for the summon that you are now negating. Negate the Cryptor. So, huge minus. No Link Decoder, Cryptor is just super dead. You banish it, it's no good. Well done. Solemn Judgment, as I suspected, completely tanking Maliss on whatever Link 3 they would summon first. I thought it would be a Red Ransom. We're now going to Foxy Tune, discard, summon from the deck. We're going to be using the effect of the Jam Extreme, banish the summon from the hand. Rising Scale, activate to summon from the deck. Imperm, negate. Now, we have 4 monster negates. We could Imperm. We also have the Mouse and Mirror, banish the March Hare. Psychic End Punisher is here. Now, Psychic End Punisher can target any card the opponent controls to then banish it, and we're also unaffected from activate effects. Negate. The deer notes. We're going to gain how much attack? We're going to be enough for lethal damage on just the Psychic and Punisher. Oh my Jesus. How do we stop this? Well, March Hare plus a body on the field is going to have to block it, right? We have the Amazing Dragon, targeting just one card in the field to return the impermanence back. We're going to Malice in the Mirror, banish the March Hare, negate, then come back to the hand here, then banish from engrave, then get 2 bodies in the field. We have to tank the Psychic and Punisher. But they now have 2 bodies to attack our 2 bodies to then attack for game with the Psychic and Punisher. Uh-oh. Jam Fever. Oh, it's too late now. Oh, no, you negate me. Uh-oh. Yup, not today. Negate and destroy. Imperm. Negate. The negate. But still, it's just going to be 2 bodies. Summon the March Hare. Banish. Don't banish Cryptor here. Don't do it. Mirror. Good. But don't banish the Cryptor. Don't do it. There you go. He knows. He knows. Dormouse is going to come forth. 2 bodies. 2 additional attacks. And even lowering our life points so that the Psychic and Punisher is not that big is good, right? Okay, as I said, lethal damage. Interesting duel. I enjoyed that one. Solemn Judgment winning that duel. Straight up, right? Solemn won it. Let's see what we end up using the Ogre on. Jesse, look at that. We got a TB11 Chad here. Banish the March Hare, add back to the hand here. Ogre on the Ignister. That is actually an idea. Yeah, that could be a good one. And then we have our allied code, Ignister. Oh my Jesus. Droll, non-target banish ×2. We can banish cards in the graveyard. We can also Apollo negate. We can negate anything with the allied code talker Ignister mate. We could cross out designate negate the call by the grave. Negate. You will not be negating my Max C. Not today. Why are we allowed to Max C after building up a 7 disruption turn 1? It makes no freaking sense, Konami. I'm not really for erratas, but could you please just errata Max C? Just please. Turn it into a Mulch Army. As I said, Ogre onto the Apollo is the way. Now we're going to Allied Code Talker Ignister to protect our Apollo. Oh my Jesus. Negate. And doesn't banish because it's not in the original spot where it was activated. Well. Yeah. That was laughing in pain, not non-happiness. Yeah. Okay, 1-1. Unicorn is going to get impermanence. We don't even want them looking at our extra deck. That is quite nasty. Being able to banish our white binder face down or even a ransom could be quite good. Emergency teleport the Wagon from the deck. We did want to ash that. As we now grab the Jam Extreme Session. No more drawing nor adding for you. We're going to try to cheat with the Unicorn, look at the extra deck, but we can't. As we now Jam Extreme. It's not really cheating though, but it actually, there is a beneficial use of using Unicorn, even in real life. You activate Unicorn, they forget, they use another card in response to it. Another good use, more so in Master Duel, is you activate Unicorn even though it's negated to see if their field lights up. If their field lights up, it tells you they have another Imperm, they have another Veiler. So when you activate Unicorn even though it's negated and their field does not light up, you now know so many things that you know they don't have a March Hare in their hand, no Veiler, no Imperm, no Bestial in their hand. It's so much you gain off of that. And assuming if they're not perfect with toggling off, which most people are not going to be. Let's now make the Jam Fever. Masquerina. I think we played quite well through 3 hand traps, if I do say so myself. How well did we play through 3 hand traps? The Shirakusai, is this going to even be activatable? During the opponent's turn, you summon a Punk Synchro. Well, the Punk Synchro would have to be level 13. I don't think that exists. So beyond that, did the Baron de Flor negate anything? I'm not sure. I didn't pay attention, honestly. If it did negate. So it's one swap face up, but it's going to return itself back to summon something that we could synchro with. So let's get to that point, right? Let's standby phase, return back. Ooh, we have Impulse now, but we did not Impulse. We could Impulse the Shirakusai, or we could Impulse the Masquerena. Now, what's going to happen here is we have Negate a Monster Effect, Synchro and Disruption. We could Little Knight Double Banish, about 4 forms of Disruption. Let's see what's good. Set TB, then go into White Rabbit. We're going to negate the effect, not the card. TB is going to jump off as we're going to summon for the deck. Shirakusai is now attempting to Synchro. And we're going to chain Masquerena. Well, there's the Impulse. Do we have a Trap and Grave? We do have Impermanence. So we will get to destroy the Masquerena. We lose our double banish with Little Knight, and then whatever Shirakusai goes into is going to be our play. The Dragon Drive Way. Is that even a disruption? It could add an Ogre from the deck, and then I guess that'll be our disruption. Yeah. Is Ogre going to be so good in this scenario? We also draw a card off the Jam Extreme Session. The Deer Note's going to be further reborning the Rising Scale, which will trigger on special summon to summon a monster from the deck, which should not turn into a form of disruption. What? We drew the card we wanted to search? What the? I guess we messed up the chain link order there. We wanted to draw an additional hand trap, not the Ogre we wanted in our hand, as we draw another non-hand trap, as we add back the Deer Note. Okay, 1 Ogre. You can Ogre the Lizard Dose. It will not stop the effect, but it gets a Link 2 off the field, further dropping their chance of going into play, as we could see here. Well done. Now, will Lizard Dose be using... no, it's not going to be drawing, of course. It didn't banish itself. Wipe it. Dormouse come forth, and off of just Dormouse, we should still be able to make plays. We could easily go into Splash Mage if needed. So getting rid of the Lizard Dose, not that beneficial. Ogre is just not that great against Maliss, obviously. And you don't need me to tell you that Rain has nothing. As we go into Red Ransom. Red Ransom searching our deck for the Maliss in Underground. We're going to Mouse in Underground, banish from the deck. The Mirror. Mirror is going to banish from Engrave. The White Rabbit, grab the March Hare. As we are further March Hare, banishing the TB11. Let's link off here into an Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker is going to banish the Red Ransom. I think we have banished all copies of our Malisses, though. We're not going to be able to plus off any of them. That is true. As the March Hare will just add back, but we already activated to reborn it. We have 8,200 damage. With the Splash Mage, we could pop again. Lizard Dose is the same attribute as Splash Mage. Not enough for lethal. Had we... oh my gosh, it was enough because our life points was reduced. Ain't no way that we just won that duel. Very well done. I was trying to think if there was another monster we could have added into circulation there. If we had a way to Almirage would be a fire to ensure that our Access Code Talker would have 3 cards to banish to pop 3 cards, where otherwise with Splash Mage, you only get to pop 2 cards, then try to go for game. But thanks to their life points being reduced, it was still enough. 2-1 victory. We have Ash. Ash will either stop the pre-prep or Ash will stop the Saji from grabbing the ritual spell, as we're not going to have a way to get the Murakumo out. Now, the Whiptail can... one of the great benefits of Zodiac is making a Zeus. Well, if they're able to non-target banish our play, we're not going to be able to make our Zeus. Habakir off the top of the deck. You don't want to eat some Ash, man? Like, maybe they'd Ash this, right? Are we under the effect of Crossout or Called by an Ash? We're not. All right. Well, the Saji's going to eat the Ash instead of possibly the pre-prep, right? Now, pre-prep will give us a Mirror, and then Mirror is going to be able to play through. This is a really good top deck, whether they Ash it or not. And just like that, we will be able to whip out the Murakumo. Murakumo will get negated by the Impermanence, unfortunately. If they had an Apollo, we could chain link block the Murakumo from getting negated thanks to the Habakiri. Habakiri will be searching for a Prayers, as we're now going to Imperm negate the Murakumo. Murakumo force them to discard a card. Well, I think we'll maybe discard the White Rabbit. Yep, we're okay with that. As we're now going to be resolving the March Hare, banish the Cryptor here, Cryptor reborn back. And then from there, we're going to get wham bam, thank you ma'am. We have at least 2 non-target banishes. Now, if they activate the non-target banish, you chain prayers, what happens? Well, your Murakumo will come back on a separate chain through its own activation to dodge the banish. We're going to GWC, Reborn in response. So what happens here? We now have to, we're in a scenario where if we don't reborn the Murakumo with the prayers, the Murakumo will possibly get banished by the White Binder. Optional effect to activate Engrave, optional effect to banish that card in the higher chain link. Thus, we're going to lose it if we don't prayers reborn it. Both effects was selected, 800, you didn't do it. Murakumo's getting banished. Now, isn't that big of a deal? It already used up both of its effects, but you could say goodbye to it. Now, its effect is not to summon, then search. It's to search, then summon. Meaning, even though it's getting banished, we still search. Get rid of it, be gone. Also banishing the mirror. As we search for our ritual here. Woo, we got the Futsu because this is a Zodiac build of Mitsurugi. I guess we would classify this as Mitsurugi with a Zodiac engine, right? Or are we calling this a Zodiac deck with Mitsurugi? Where would you like us to place this deck? As we search for our mouse in the mirror. White Rabbit with the MTP. Our second non-target banish is now ready. A lot of people don't view the effect of White Binder banishing from the grave as a form of disruption, but in many cases, it is. We have the Kusanagi adding back the Ritual, Sword Serpent, Reborn. I don't know how this deck is built, where if we're maybe already playing a second copy of the Murakumo, because we did pass up on the ability to add it back to the hand. Firewall Dragon, return it back, and non-target banish before they rank 4 Xyz. Not today. Let's further ritual away, tribute off the Futsu to go into the Habakiri. We're going to be triggering the effect of the Futsu to search our deck for the Magatama. Magatama, what are we doing here? You do have to choose what you're activating, where the prayers, you don't tell them what you're activating, you choose on the resolution. So you'll know I'm going to be targeting a card to destroy it, or I'm performing a ritual summon. What are we doing? I'm destroying your Cryptor. Let's banish away the Serpent. And if the Habakiri has not activated yet, it will reborn. It already did. After all of that, we're now going for the Zeus. We got through not 1, but 2 non-target banishes. We got them to use their Firewall Dragon. We got them exactly where we want them, and we're gonna wipe it all. Well done. Borbo to the face, into the Tiger Mortar. A multi-materialed Zeus. How many mats will it have here? It's getting huge. It's getting bigger. We even have a Zodiac Trident. Is this like a 10 material Zeus? Holy Zeus. How many? 6 materials. 1, 2, 3. 3. Wipe the fields. Wipe the field. Boom. Damn. Cutscene on every activation. Now, he does have a mirror to preemptively negate before making any plays, mate. That is quite unfortunate. And it was cool while it lasted. But in the end, it did not matter. Okay. Please, Kraken, finish this up quickly as we hop into game 2. Bro's at 100 life. Damn. Said GW, we could gain our life points back. Access the codes. Bunish, Reborn, gain 23. We can now, yep. All right, show me what Zodiac Mitsurugi does turn 1. That was very cool, being able to play through all those disruption and still being able to wipe the field with Zeus. They should not have randomly had a mirror. They could have also randomly had an impermanence. Saji, Imperm, negate the Saji. Dodge it, mate. Tribute as a quick effect. Ain't no way. Let's freaking go. We're going to pop the impermanence as we add from our deck a Prayers. Prayers is going to be further searching our deck here. They have no more disruptions. We're going to be searching for the Habakiri. Habakiri, someone for the deck. The Kusanagi. Kusanagi's going to add back from Engrave the prayers. And then we end our turn. What? Okay, that was not very good. Prayers, Prayer, search, yeah, I guess. Prayers is a starter if you have not activated Saji yet. That sucks. Okay, well, they're under the effect of Maxi. Let's see what's good. Play Rabbit, come forth, activate, we're gonna droll. Fiendsmith, Orcust, and Maliss. Those are the big three that play through droll. And we are in a droll meta. So inevitably, where you have to play droll, those three are going to be pretty good ideas. Let's further go into access code talker. With the access code, before we're not able to respond to the access code, we're going to activate the prayers to take 800 and not summon. Yep. After taking 800, you could optionally summon, and we said no thank you. Please finish me quicker. 2-0. Well done. Take 800, then no. All right. Prime my barrel. We're going to Veiler, negate the barrel. Barrel is doing what? Setting a load. I got 2 loads already in my hand. We're playing right through your Veiler. That Veiler meant nothing. As we're now going to load, search for our drill beam. And pass. That's it. We have the ability to negate with the Ash, and we have drill beam. The ideal use of Ash or drill beam will be on a wishes. So because we have both of them, we can freely use one on another card. Or not. Wow, drill beam can now negate drill beam. As we make a spear with eyes of blue, we're gonna drill beam, not drill beam the spear with eyes of blue. Okay. We don't know that the drill beam's even activatable. We don't know that they have a blue eyes in hand. And just like that, we are not able to drill beam the opposing Ash Blossom. The winner of this duel is going to be solely dependent on who has better control of their drill beam. I think whoever drill beams the other drill beam is going to be the winner. And that's what we're doing. I think this is how we win. Boom, right? They now cannot recycle drill beam. They're very likely not playing a second copy of drill beam. In fact, I would like to see what are the ratios of drill beam in blue eyes. Drill beam control them up. Drill beam 14% at 2. So there is a chance that we still have access to a second copy of drill beam. We do have the Tired Dragon, which will be able to recycle the impermanence we used on turn 1. That is quite beneficial. Lordy Load is going to summon a blue eyes. We can now go into the Hieratic Seal. We're going to have Imperm plus the Hieratic Seal. Double form of disruption. Now, our barrel next turn will be recycled back to the hand, allowing us to then recycle the drill beam. It's going to be very difficult for No Name. Wait a second. You're playing Fiendsmith? I don't think you're a Blue Eyes deck. You're not. You're not even Blue Eyes. Whoops, I thought it was a mirror match. What the? Oh my Jesus, everything has changed. We're going to non-target bounce back the barrel. Trigger the Heavenly Sphere, summon a Magnum here, search for Abyssal in the end phase, track searching for a Lurie. Uh-oh, we're gonna have to use the Imperm onto the sequence. Lurie Reborn, so now everything has changed. The Drill Beam on Drill Beam is no longer the game-winning play because they're not even Blue Eyes. Summon a Crimson Tear, Imperm, negate here. As we're now going to use the Requiem Equip, 1800 attack, wipe out the Magnum Hut. As we Lordy Load, someone from the deck, a Labradite Dragon? What the heck is this thing? The ancients compared this prized creature to moonlight rippling across water, a bringer of harmony, reminder of past glories, able to soothe the hearts of even the most ambitious men? What? Barrel is going to allow us to recycle the drill beam if it's still face up on the field. We have Crimson Tear, send from the deck here the Paradise as we now get to reset our drill beam into the back row. Mausoleum, send a Blue Eyes from the hands of the Graveyard to boost up our barrel, taking out that Crimson Tear. Lordy Load, attempt to summon the Blue Eyes from Engrave. We have no weird lingering effects here, but that will trigger the Fiendsmith and Paradise. You special summoned, I now get to send any card in your field to the graveyard through the effect of my Desiree. We have Imperm, and we do have Drill Beam. Now, is Drill Beam activatable? Reveal a Primite or a normal monster in your hand. We have neither. Okay, the other part is, what if we control a Primite on the field, but it has to be a level 5 or higher? So this Drill Beam is dead. What the? Add a barrel from Engrave. We just have impermanence. Bear into floor, onto the imperm. We're going to negate. Do not destroy my impermanence. And we do get to negate that load, even though the other load is activatable. Barrel and Baron going into the moon of the closed heaven. Drill Beam banish moon. Well, we can't. Let's Fiendsmith the Requiem, summon for the deck, Engraver, equip, further send for the princess. As we now reborn back the Engraver. Let's turn both bodies into the sequence. Can't even Drill Beam the sequence. Let's fuse it all up into our Desiree is here. Tract is going to fuse with the field into the Fiendsmith Lacrima, which can target the Desiree to reborn it back onto the field. We're going to be triggering the Desiree. We're actually reborning back the sequence instead. Sure. As we're going to go into the Ignumde. Ignumde is another card that can reborn back the Desiree. So it was either the Fiendsmith Lacrima or the Ignumde. This is a lot of damage. 1,800 plus another 1,800 plus an additional 2,800, but not enough for game. We have sequence in MP2, equip 58 mate, non-target negate up to 5 cards on the field. As we grab the barrel back, the Drill Beam's activatable while we have barrel in hand, but we can't target the Desiree. We can't target the Ignumde, get it out of here. We still have a non-target negate up to 2 cards. We know that next turn, if they're able to trigger the Fiendsmith Lacrima, we lose. Eyes of Blue, attempt to reborn. Nope, you are negated. Non-target negate up to 2 cards on the field. Mate, let's hop into game 2, as the Drill Beam on Drill Beam was not enough to win because it was not, in fact, a Blue Eyes deck. Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Come to me, Majesty, and another card. We're going to be getting rid of the Baldrake. Baron to floor is negate and destroy. That Nibiru is gone. Which is a good thing, right? Yeah, we shouldn't just be making every deck able to inherently counter Nibiru. I agree with you on that. Which I think a big step towards the wrong direction was Gigantic Sprite. Can't Nibiru. Rukalos can't Nibiru. Lubellion, searching our deck. I'd much rather prefer decks are creatively figuring out ways to play around Nibiru instead of it just inherently being built in. Lubellion, Reborn, as we're going to be activating to play into our back row. A Branded Beast! Normally that's not played, as we tribute off our Lubellion to pop a card in the field. Now, the True Light would wipe away our field if the Spirit Dragon were not able to negate it, which it can. But a lot of people don't understand that you could chain link block this with literally anything. You could chain Maxi to the True Light to wipe away their field, as the Spirit would then not be able to negate it. Crimson Tear, come to me here. Let's get the Labradite Dragon Engrave. Crimson Tear, send from the deck the Engraver. We want to keep the Spirit Dragon on field because being able to negate the Engraver is going to be a beneficial play. Where normally the ability to negate a card Engrave is not considered a form of disruption. Well, we're going to negate that instead because the Engraver will be threatening the Spirit Dragon. If the opponent had a card in the hand here, you would never want to make this play, which would be on the higher chain link summoning an ultimate, because if they were to finger your Spirit, there's called by right there, they would be able to finger the ability of you negating the card Engrave. It's a 2-for-1 special. You would just negate it on resolution, chain link on, then summon the ultimate. Now, ultimate will be able to only negate a card effect activated on the field. If they were to go into sequence, we would then be able to negate. Seahorse, send from the deck to the grave. Jet Dragon Mate. Wave King Caesar is here. Nibiru is going to tribute off the field. Wave King Caesar is going to negate the Nibiru, as the ultimate will negate the Negate Mate. Negate it. Not destroy it, then tribute it. Well done. The ultimate was going to get blown up in the end phase anyway. Well done. True Light, attempt to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Did we have more than one? We did, so if we fingered one, then it would have not been as good. We're going to finger the Maiden instead. Saving it for you. Negate and banish. Blue Eyes is cooking. Some good stuff here. We have a Bestial in the end phase added back. I'm checking for Crimson Tier. We do not have a Link 1 engraved to go into the Paradise play. Wishes will be attaching onto the Blue Eyes. We're going to have the ability to recycle the Majesty to non-target pop cards during the opponent's turn. As we are setting up another Wishes. You can't set a Wishes unless there's no Wishes engrave. Now we can discard Nibiru, come to us. Ultimate Fusion. Could non-target pop away the Nibiru token if we'd like, which means we should have lethal damage. Let's go. What? Croco Dragon. Croco Dragon, draw one card into a barrel, barrel into the Lordy Load. Lordy Load searching for the Drill Beam. Discard the Drill Beam as we're just gonna repop it. You destroy their card, it triggers your Jet Dragon when any card in the field is destroyed. Let's freaking go. On the field, yup. Boost up the Croco Dragon, and just like that, 10,000 damage. Baldrake blocking the final attack. We're gonna chain Max C. Now, at the start of the damage step, we are able to destroy the Baldrake, or return it back to the hand. The problem with that is you still are not able to attack directly. You don't get an attack replay at the start of the damage step. We have Lordy Load. He was able to somehow survive that onslaught. We have so many forms of disruption. It is not even worth it to continue to play, but it's fine that you do. Croco Dragon can pop. Drill Beam is not. It will be activatable once the Heavenly Spheres return a cards back, or if we use the True Light to get a Blue Eyes in the field. So that was two ways to turn on the Drill Beam. Negate anything, return back anything, pop anything. It's over. Go forth, Engraver, with triple disruption. I'm going to discard 2, pop you. We got 2 more. Bounce it back. Get the hell out of here. And then we have Drill Beam. You actually cannot, if he flipped up Drill Beam, then you'd have to point and laugh because he would actually be Drill Beaming himself. Legally activatable, and then you have to target something you can negate. 1 and 1. Crimson Tier, send here. So the activation requirement, it's usually a cost you're paying or having to target something. And the turn, that's it. Well, we do have a disruption off of this. If we could summon a Crimson Tier, we could, this is interesting. You like Requiem, jump off, then chain Crimson Tier, return back to reborn back the Requiem, and then you summon the Crimson Tier, then you send the Fiendsmith in Paradise, which will then trigger on a special summon to send a card. So we do have 1 disruption plus. We could also chain Full Loss while we have no monsters on the field after activating the Requiem. This will be activatable plus the Max C. This is really interesting. Max C, this is only activatable in the main phase, so we do get to get them with that. Lordy Load, it's up. We have the Drill Beam ready, and it is activatable to banish the Crimson Tier. Sage with Eyes of Blue, come to us. Spirit into the Mausoleum. We're waiting to Max C in the next duel, I believe. Wait, did we already Max C? Did I miss something? We activate our own Max C. Okay, it was our own Max C. As I was saying, we could Full Loss. In response, a Requiem, clear the field, add a Full Loss, add a Max C. This is it, and the Kaiba Man is attempting to summon from the deck potentially, which we could summon from the hand instead. Let's resolve it. Max goes through, Fu goes through. We may draw 2 here, as we're going to summon an Engraver. All right, Kaiba Man, reveal where the Blue Eyes are, 1 in our hand. But we don't have to summon from the deck. It's just one of the options if we wanted to. Is from the deck or graveyard? Is it summon from the hand also? You could then summon from the hand, deck, or grave. Holy crap, the dual log's flying when I'm trying to read the card. Special summon from the hand, deck, or grave. Now, if we summon from the hand, they would draw 1 less card here. We now have Spirit with Eyes of Blue. We do have the Ogre off the top of the deck, which, what is going to be a good use of Ogre? Ogre is a great counter against Blue Eyes. Just stop the True Light. They activate it, they True Light. Now, you want to be thinking, do we have a way to Chain Link block the True Light? We do, with the Lacrima. So you would keep Spirit on field. When the True Light gets popped, you try to negate the True Light, and then you are just going to Chain Link block it with Lacrima, then they lose their entire field. This will be interesting. Summon the Blue Eyes. Kaiba Man triggering with the Blue Eyes being summoned while it's in graveyard to search the deck for a Jet Dragon. Now, Jet Dragon protects you from being destroyed from your opponent's card effects, not your own. We also have Nibiru. Ooh, this is going to be crazy. When we decide to activate True Light, you can also Chain Link block the Maiden when she's being targeted by a card effect. Let's Reborn the Blue Eyes, the Sage that is, send a Blue Eyes to the deck to the grave. This keeps on happening. We're waiting for a big play, but then we summon a Baron freaking DeFleur out of nowhere to negate those big plays. True Light into the Ogre. Uh-oh. We have to negate this. And now you can't negate Nibiru. Nibiru is now ready to wipe away your field. That was our one much needed out. As you said, a Wishes from the deck. Wishes, discard Blue Eyes, add an Ultimate Fusion. 10 cards in the hand. Wishes is going to be attaching onto the Blue Eyes to turn it into a Tyrant Dragon. And just like that, we're going to wipe away the field. Wipe it. Come forth, Nibiru. Ghost Bells, constant. Holy, both players drawing off of special summons here. Nibiru is a double draw because it summons itself, then summons the token. It's not like Wizard where it's summoned at the same time. We're going to Juriswarm, banish away the Blue Eyes. A good way to gain access to your banished Blue Eyes is through a Roar of the Blue Eyes if we have not used Roar yet, which we have not. The Ultimate Fusion will be able to non-target pop a card. We could Drill Beam, target, and banish a card. An interaction in the grave will be negated. An interaction in the deck will be negated. A Veil or negate a monster on the field. About 5 forms of disruption. We do have Drill Beam. The turn it's set, obviously not activatable. As we now go into Moon of the Closed Heaven. Juriswarm triggering to get rid of the token. Let's use the True Light. Deity Crow banishing a second copy. Ghost Bell negating. You will not be banishing me away. Yes, I will. I'm going to get rid of that Blue Eyes White Dragon, as we're now going to chain Ultimate Fusion. Using potentially the Blue Eyes on field to get that non-target destruction. We did not. We don't get to destroy with the ultimate. We lose that disruption. We're now down to Veiler, Drill Beam, and Ash. Just triple. Moon activating so we could additionally use the Tyrant if we want to summon an Underworld Goddess. Drill Beam, negate, and banish the triple tactics talent. You will not be taking control. Down to just Ash, just Veiler. Let's summon Engraver from Engrave, as we now use all of them to summon our Underworld Goddess. Underworld Goddess goes into a Requiem. Requiem then goes into a Typhon. What is going on here? What the? Veiler, negate the Typhon mate. Wow, that was an expensive Typhon. To battle we go, big enough to take out the Blue Eyes. We already activated the True Light this turn. Let's set it up. Now, what did No Name end up with? We have the Lingering, or I should say the continuous effect of 3k or higher cannot activate. We have Drill Beam, which is activatable. We have Magnum Hut. So about 3 forms. I think we do have a way to get the Paradise Engraver, so that's 4. 4 disruptions. We are going to Drill Beam, banish the True Light. Now, does Blue Eyes have a way to get True Light back from the banishment? No. It's gone for good. As we're now going to use the Crimson Tear to set up, possibly, we could just Ash it to stop them from setting up the Paradise, but we'll still try it. Requiem would summon, and then we'd be able to send a card from the field to the grave on a special summon. Negate it. Ash it. Well done. And now, all they have left is Magnum Hut plus the continuous effect of 3k or higher not being activatable, no matter where it is. Spear with Eyes of Blue. We're going to be tributing off here into a Blue Eyes. Did we have more than one? I guess we did. We had 2 Blue Eyes in the graveyard. Why didn't we banish? Why didn't we want to banish? We're chain link blocking the Maiden. Was this the play? Should we have tried to just banish the Blue Eyes White Dragon, possibly? Or at least the Maiden? I mean, they do have a Ghost Bell. Oh, they had no monsters. You're right. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be cheating. Don't do that. Cheating's bad. Ghost Bell, negate the Magnum Hut, but its main goal was to chain link block the Maiden from reborning a monster, which it did successfully do so. Send the Blue Eyes, boost up, take out the Typhon, MP2 into the Croco Dragon. We're going to unsummon, draw 1. We could discard 2 to pop a card in the field. We're going to grab a barrel. We have not committed to our normal summon yet. And now we're going to have in circulation back the Drill Beam, resetting back on the field while we have a barrel on field. Lordy Load, which will enable the Drill Beam to even be activatable during the opponent's turn, as it's no longer going to be activatable now. as we end our turn. How do we make the drill beam activatable? So when the Heraldic Seal is tributed to return a card back to the hand, it could trigger engrave to summon a Blue Eyes in the deck, but do we have a Blue Eyes in the deck left to summon? Blue Eyes is banished, Blue Eyes is engrave, Blue Eyes is engrave, triple Blue Eyes. Am I not thinking of something of how to even turn on this drill beam? I think it's dead. We have Imperm, we have Croco Dragon, and we have bounce a card back, triple, that's it. You can return, yes, thank you. So 3 disruption would still be 3 disruption if we return the load back to turn the drill beam on. So we would trade a disruption to have a disruption. Maxi, I maxi you. 25 cards to 24. Holy moly, this is a crazy duel. We are going to be returning the load back so we can activate the drill beam. There we go, so trade a disruption to gain a disruption. And now we can banish away the barrel. We still have the Imperm and the Croco Dragon. Come forth, the Jet Dragon protecting our other cards from being destroyed by card effects. Call by the Grave, finger the Blue Eyes. And I think that's it. All 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons have now been banished. Is there any way to get them back? Let's check out the graveyard real quick to see if they have their Roar. The Roar of the Blue Eyes, which it should show under the related cards here. Konami sucks, good job. That is a way to get an access back to your banished Blue Eyes. So we're not completely screwed. Let's Fiendsmith in Great Dimension Fusion. Yeah, sure, of course, they have that, right? Sequence. Timed out. You timed out. No, you timed out. You surrendered. Are you sure you didn't time out? Why didn't you play it out? Did you have 5 seconds on the clock and you're like, a timeout would look bad, I'm just gonna surrender? I don't know.
It was time. Like they were over.
Okay, it was not a timeout, it was not a surrender. They actually went into time. And time for our tournaments is 60 minutes, right, Gia? In TCG, time is 50 minutes. And you know what happens when you reach time in TCG? You both lose, but not in our Master Duel tournament. So don't worry, it's whoever was highest life points, which I can't see the life points here, will be advancing to the rest of the tournament. Begin. As we summon the mirror, we're going to be grabbing the Mercurier here. We can't even Jerusalem. We would be able to negate it. Now, negating the Mercurier negating Jerusalem does not destroy it. I think we still should have attempted to use it, but how does player priority work in the end phase? As soon as you enter the end phase, the turn player has priority to perform a quick effect or a trigger effect, meaning you can't Jerusalem before they activate Albion. If you did that at locals, you cheated. So what you would do is you have to toggle on. It says they're ending the main phase. That is your last opportunity to Jerusalem to Albion. Then they possibly Mercurier, and then you just hold on to the Jerusalem to use it next turn. But we didn't do that. Now, we have non-target monster banish, which could then reborn the Albaz that should be in graveyard. There it is. It had a different alt art, which will then be able to use an opponent's monster for a fusion into a form of disruption. So that's triple disruption right there. We can negate anything with the Mercurier. We could fuse with the Super Poly. We could negate a special summon retribution. We could set up a disruption with the branded in red. We got about 7 disruption here. Now, Impulse against branded loss. How does this work? Branded Law says a fusion effect cannot be negated. Its activation cannot be negated. If we read the Impulse, Impulse is going to negate the effect, so it will still work against the Branded Lost. But you could still not trick, but set up a scenario where Impulse can't even be used. In response to a fusion summon, which would be Super Poly, which you can't even respond to, in that window, you could activate Branded in red, and Impulse cannot even be chained. You can't even chain Called by the Grave to what they're targeting with the Branded in red. So that's going to be the core play there, what you really want to think about. Let's back up, grab the Dormouse, discard Dormouse. Lingeribo is going to get non-target banished here. And all the cool disruptions we were about to see, we're just going to have to imagine it now. Damn. Begin. We have Valor and double Bestial. Double Bist if a Maliss has already used its banish effect and it's in the graveyard, which the Dormouse will very likely be in the graveyard within this duel. That is when you want to banish it if they're trying to reborn it back through, let's say, something like a Splash Mage. Now, they will very likely have an Apollo USA before you even want to Bestial. So we're going to have to set up our Bestials much earlier than we're intending. Now, this is a gamble, and it's actually going to pay off. We have no idea what's in their hand. The March Hare only chooses on resolution here what we banish, and if we're lucky, that's the only card that's banishable. Ain't no way. It actually works. No other Maliss in hand. Love it. With how powerful non-engine is, and if we were in a Genesis-like format, Called By would have points. You wouldn't be able to randomly draw into it when this deck draws into 4 cards. You draw 3 on your turn, you draw a 4th card during their turn. They wouldn't be able to draw into Bestials. They wouldn't be able to draw into Impulse because they would be restricted from the Mouse deck type with a Duel Links type ban list or Genesis. We have double non-target banish. We have a Bestial banish. We have a special summon negate. We have a Finger Mate. We have double Apollo, and we have an Omni negate. You can also banish from the graveyard with the White Binder. About 9 forms of disruption. Let's non-target banish. Don't mind if I do. And we also Apollo, so we're at 7 disruption. Let's swing in with the kit so we can imperm negates the allied code talker. Sure. As we can now Brilliant Fusion. Well, they have Impulse. There you go. This is one of the most disgusting things about turn 1 in Yu-Gi-Oh! The non-engine that's necessary to play because of how imbalanced going second is also further imbalancing the balance because it also will boost up your turn 1. The turn 1 power gets more powerful. So because of non-engine making turn 1 way too powerful, you have to play them to counteract that. And then also it's a double-edged sword of a requirement and also ruining the game. It looks like Drex won game 2 and is going first again, you know, hey, we bricked. And bricking means we have 5 disruption. That's right. A bad deck bricking will have actual bricks. Hey, that's a combo piece that requires another card. This is an extender, but we don't even have a starter. But no, good decks have good non-engine. So can we play through 5 disruption? Quem is going to send from the deck a High Spirit. Retribution is going to add back the High Spirit. And then with the High Spirit, we are going to be revealing the Valor to get a Grand Granola engraved to send the Valor to search our deck for a Shrouded Dragon. All within the draw phase, by the way. Couldn't even use the Droll. We know Droll is the most prevalent card within the meta right now. We want to be playing around it. I'm going to grab the Branded in White. Now we could Droll. Why are we grabbing Branded in White? Well, to play around in Ash Blossom. You always want to assume they have Ash. If they have a card in their hand, it's Ash. That's the rule when playing Branded. As we now summon a Mirror Jade. We didn't want to Impulse. I mean, Impulse is on the same level of Ash of stopping a Branded Fusion. We have Kit, Special Summon, search our deck, or add back from the grave or banishment, getting the Retribution back into the deck, and 9,000 damage. We have non-target monster banished with that Mirror Jade. Get the Jerusalem out of here. We're going to imperm negate the non-target banish mate. No, you have to swing into the Jerusalem, and it will activate in the damage step to send a monster on the field to the graveyard. Goodbye to the Druis. Trigger it, send it. We don't have to send another monster since they don't have enough for lethal anyway. Not enough for a game. Do we want to finger a card during the end phase potentially? The Albion activating will in fact result in our finger. Huh. What could we top deck into? We had like 14 one-card starters. Well, to be fair, we had 11 true one-card starters, and then with backup Ignister, it gave us 14. But they were 1.5 card. So now we should have about like 6 cards we could top deck into. 6? 1 of 6. Can we do it? Let's do it! We did it. Yeah, that's one of them. Good job. Wow. And Jose has nothing. Okay. Let's go. Yes. March here to the hand. This is full combo here. White Rabbit come forth. Like, if you don't believe me, let's look at it, all right? So we had 11. It dropped down to 6. Maliss deck. If we look at a Maliss deck, they can't draw on a chassis. That's no good. They draw into 1 Dormouse, Rabbit, Rabbit, Rabbit. A backup Ignister would not be a combo here. They could draw into the Sark, and then they could draw into the Field Spell. That's the 6. Those were the only 6 cards we could have top deck into. You could argue that we could have grabbed an Allure, then YOLO maybe draw into a card that would be banishable. That could have possibly been a play, but otherwise, those are the 6 cards. What was the math? Was it in his favor? 1 of 6 out of how many cards left in the deck? I don't know. That's for you to tell me. Good job, Maliss, for completely outplaying Branded. Banish the ransom. Vomit worthy. Come forward, Chessie. Smash the kit. Lethal damage. Well done. Good job. 1 in 6 off the top of the deck. Ain't no way. Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16. In the next video, we're going to be advancing to top 8 grand finale, where maybe Blue Eyes could take it all. Yes, hopefully. Let's go.